Nothing happened. That sentence has probably cost organizations more than any malware ever has. Not because it's careless, but because it sounds like evidence. Well, it isn't. In security, we treat outcomes as proof. If no incident occurred, we assume the risk was low. If no alert fired, we assume nothing was reachable. If no damage was visible, we assume control. And that assumption is quietly wrong. There is a deeply ingrained belief in security that if nothing happened, the system must have been safe. It's a comforting belief. It allows us to move on. It allows us to close tickets. It allows us to stop looking. But it collapses the moment you introduce time. I want to be clear about something. This belief doesn't come from incompetence. It comes from how we're taught to reason about risk. We are trained to think in events, an alert, a breach, an outage, a discovery. If none of those occurred, we infer safety. That inference feels logical. It's just incomplete. Because risk doesn't require an event. Risk only requires exposure. And exposure exists in time. When a system is reachable, when a credential is valid, when a misconfiguration exists, the risk is not waiting to happen. The risk is already present. Time is not neutral in that state. Time is additive. Every hour of exposure increases the chance that someone eventually notices. Silence is not proof of absence. Silence is just a lack of observation. And attackers don't announce when they've noticed something. They wait. They watch. They decide when to act. This is why incidents feel sudden. The discovery is sudden. The exploitation is not. The exposure almost always existed long before anyone noticed. Here's the part most teams miss. Time doesn't just increase risk. Time removes options. Early exposure gives you choices. Patch, isolate, redesign, monitor. Late discovery collapses those into one decision: respond. That's not security maturity. That is time running out. If you've ever said it's been like that for a while, well, no one's touched it. Nothing bad has happened. What you were really saying was, we've been exposed, and we've been lucky. Mature security doesn't ask, did anything happen? It asks, how long was this reachable? Who could have seen it? What options did we still have at discovery? That's the difference between managing incidents and managing risk. The most dangerous moments in security are not the loud ones. They're the quiet stretches of time where nothing happens and we mistake that silence for safety. That unexamined time. That's the exposure window. And ignoring it doesn't make it smaller.